Ooh, what is this? Is this... Is this the start of a stream? A stream on a Sunday? Oh my. Hello, everyone. How are you? Sorry, better intro. Welcome back, my darling Diamonds in the Rough. I am your favorite talking stone, and today we are back with something new, something interesting, something fun. Well, you see, going to expose the truth about these so-called everyday objects and concepts. Now, I just need a little more time to cook up everything and make sure everything is going swimmingly. So give me several moments to make sure everything is popping like it's hot. Oh, that is... What the heck? That can't be right. That can't be right. I'm sorry, give me a moment. Okay, for a second, it said my stream was on for a day and 5 hours. That's not right. But, let me just make sure everything's going A-okay. Give me a moment. Alright, test 1 is complete. Can we get to test 2? Maybe we can. Give me another moment. Yep, test 2 is also golden. Let me put that up here. Yikes. Right. Now, this expose, this unraveling of realities, is still under process. By that I mean, I can't release it yet. I cannot release it yet. For, you see, I still need to, put the finishing touches. Well, not me, editor me. Editor me was cooking on this a little bit later than usual. I'm not going to hold him accountable. Well, actually, he's been pretty lazy recently. He has been slacking. He promised he would post a video soon, so we can look forward to that. But he wanted to make sure that everything is A-okay. A-okay indeed. Right. And I think he has just 10 more minutes before we can go live with it. So, let us relax and yap about our day. My day was wonderful. I had some lovely cookies that I baked. I mentioned this yesterday. I did make a ton of cookie dough. Yeah, I was trying to make a little bit. I actually made this huge brick of cookie dough. It was quite big indeed. And I've been chopping away at it unhealthily for the past couple of days. And I love it, but also, it's quite the pain. Quite the physical pain. I love cookies. I do love cookies quite a bit. But it hurts. It does hurt. Not even my wallet. Actually, it was really, no, I won't say really cheap. Because I had to buy I didn't have to buy even a ton of ingredients. I had to buy flours, white sugar, and light brown sugar. That's all I had to buy. I had everything else in-house. So compared to actually like a normal tub of cookie dough, I'd say it's probably about the same I spent money on. Yes, it was probably equal. Probably. As if we were buying a giant tub of cookie dough. And that was one batch, and I still have a ton of flour, I still have a ton of sugar, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It expires in 2027, so I don't necessarily need to do anything with it. I can just slowly produce cookies over a long period of time. Yeah, I could do that. That would be fun. But, as for now, my diet has been consisting of these delicious nuggets of wonder. Delicious nuggets of wonder. Right, editor me is almost done, but he says I need to stall for 5 more minutes. So I will. I will pause. I will deliberate. I will enjoy myself for 5 more minutes before producing his short little expose. His short little expose, indeed. Right. Right, indeed. I had quite the lazy day, though, today. I went out the house because I didn't have food. That's pretty much all I've done. That is all I've done. I went out to the grocery store, not even to a restaurant or everything. I should have just maybe ordered Uber Eats, but I just went to the grocery store to pick up some stuff to cook up. Had some wonderful meatballs. Wonderful meatballs. They're delicious. The store has some amazing meatballs that I really enjoy. I haven't had them in... Has it been a year? It might have been a year. It might have been a year. Huh. Well, that's just dandy. Yeah, but it was delicious. It was delicious as always. I had some... Fresh bread might be a stretch, but I had some bread with it. I did have some bread with it. And it was very delicious. Very delicious indeed. I love meatball subs. I remember whenever I used to go to Subway, I don't go to Subway often, but I have gone to Subway before. But whenever I'd go there, I would always get a meatball sub or some variety of a meatball sub. Always have meatballs and bread. Maybe cheese. I'm not too big a fan of cheese, if I'm being completely honest. It's alright, but I don't necessarily love it with all my heart. I prefer just the meatballs and bread. That's probably weird. But yeah, I'm not too big a cheese guy. There are very few things I prefer with cheese. Very few. Very few things. But I can handle cheese on a meatball and stuff. Oh yeah. I looked this up a while ago. This is unrelated to the Revealing Truth stream. But the meatball parmesan and the chicken parmesan, the sandwiches, I was confused because they did not use Parmesan cheese as their main cheese. So I wondered why they're called meatball parmesan and chicken parmesan and sausage and pepper parmesan or whatever. I wondered. I wondered why they were called that. I believe it was because they were they originated in the same region of Italy that Parmesan cheese has come from. Same region that made Parmesan cheese, which is like Parmesan. I don't know. I should look it up. I could look it up. I'm not going to look it up because I don't really want to. I do not really want to look it up right now. I just don't. I'm too lazy. I'm too stubborn. And editor me is, taking a long time. A long time indeed. But it's okay. I trust him. I trust editor me. I trust him to everything. I trust him. He's always done right by me. I think he's been taking it pretty easy the past few times. But that's alright. I always trust his work. He's always hard work, or at least earlier on, he was definitely very hardworking. More hardworking than me, streaming me. So it's definitely much appreciated. Yeah, I cannot say a bad thing about the guy. He is someone I can deeply call my friend. Myself. I can call myself my friend. And I love it. Yes. I think we have a good bout of mutual respect for each other. And he said he would work hard on this. And we share the same brain, so him working hard means I should work hard on it too. That's really nice. Love the guy. He's amazing. He is just simply the best. I think we are getting along really nice. I don't ask why I'm talking as if he's me. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I appreciate him. I appreciate him and everything he's doing for me. Alright, I guess I should mention, why conspiracy theory stream? Why a conspiracy theory stream? Well, it's simple. I ran out of ideas. I didn't have any ideas, so I ran out of ideas. I definitely just ran out of ideas and just thought of whatever first came to mind, and doing a little PowerPoint style thing where I just go through slides and talk about it. That seemed acceptable. That definitely seemed acceptable to me. And yeah, that was a really good call, I think. Because I think this stream's going to be wonderful. I think this stream's going to be amazing. Right. Oh, Editor is almost ready. Nope, no he's not. No he's not. What more to say? Yeah. Anything else I can mention? Oh yes, I've been watching, I followed along some, YouTube, whatever. I've been watching, what is it, Magic the Noah. He does a lot of, D&D style, like, roleplay-esque, games, I guess. On, like, a PowerPoint slide. He's actually the idea I pulled PowerPoint slides from. I think he did PowerPoint or Google Slides, whatever he used. I don't remember. I don't remember what he did. But, he's, yeah, his channel, I found, it was fun. I think it was fun. Right. Editor Me is just finishing up the last touches. The last touches at all. Right. What more is there to say for Editor Me? He's a great guy. He's a great guy. Anything else I can add? I've been watching that. I watched Master Baker, the entire series. It was amazing. Reason why I made the cookies, and the cookies were just absolutely delicious, out of this world. Anything else? Oh yeah, the Saba debut. I almost forgot. That was amazing. That was fun. I really enjoyed it. Samiko Saba and her Pepa boat. Pepa boat. Pepa boto. That was very funny. I really loved it. Right. Editor Me says we are ready to go though. But Samiko, yeah, no, Samiko Saba. That was a really good debut stream. Over 200,000 people watching live. That was crazy. I was actually watching her karaoke before this stream, and it pulled something ridiculous like 70,000 live viewers, which flabbergasted me. I almost forgot I actually have chicken to eat. So now you have to wait on me, not Editor Me. Sorry, so give me some more moments and I'll yap. This was one of the things I got at the grocery store. Chicken. I was very hungry. Meatballs, chicken, and some snack. I don't know what I bought it. Well, I know why I bought it. I bought a pound cake, like specifically a cookie crumble pound cake, whatever it's called. I have so many cookies. I don't need more sweets, but it was on sale. It was on sale. So I bought it. It was on sale. So I bought it. And it was so delicious. I had a little bit of it for lunch. And oh my, I just love the pound cakes. I love them. They're just so good. Sugar is so good. Oh my. Alright, I have one more piece of chicken to finish. Right. After this, I'm going to take a sip of water, and then we can get on with exposing the truth. One more bite. Alright, I think I'm good enough. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm actually going to need a pause to get more water. I should have been more prepared for the stream. I apologize. 7 o'clock just crept up so fast. Be right back. Ladies, gentlemen, gentle stones, I think we're ready to begin. Editor Me has sent it over. Editor Me has put it on screen. Yes, it's up, and now it's ready for me to begin. So let us begin with some Exposing the Truth by... Wait, let me close this. There we go. Is that a better viewing experience for you? Yes, it is! Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Exposing the Truth by me, Honorary Dr. Stone Talk PhD. Yep, that's right. I don't want to brag, but I do have some pretty huge deposits. I get that from my second mother. And I'm an honorary doctor. Self-proclaimed. Now, I want to talk a little bit about myself. I am someone with eyes. I've been around a long time, as long as a little limestone like me could be around. So I know a thing or two about this good, gracious earth that we trot along on. So, I hope you can understand my expertise. You can understand that my pretty huge deposits are something that give me credibility in this field. I am aware, and I am an old soul ready to proclaim the truth. Now, I think we begin with something that most people understand. Most people can reason with. Birds. They aren't real. Birds are not real. I think we all know that. We're starting off small, something we can all agree on. Birds are not real. They are government drones designed to spy on us. As we'll move over to the second slide. You can see I pulled this from the very technical Birds Aren't Real Wikipedia. A bunch of undeniable facts that no one can alter without knowing the truth. And on the right, we have a bit of a diagram of a bird with the camera for recording our actions, whether it be giving money to the homeless or helping an old lady cross the street. They have microphones to pick up when we compliment each other on a rough day, or maybe say something uplifting and to know that we are here for each other. A speaker to influence anarchy. Maybe there's a conflict going on and the bird wants to interrupt it by screeching. They have antenna and battery to receive commands and dose them. And then they have an inducting charging coil in their feet. This allows them to recharge the battery without conspicuous. Obviously, in a place like New York City, there's a lot of towers that humans can't get to. And secretly, government agents have put charging pads there for birds to charge on, just conspicuously. And here is some more proof that birds aren't real. Pigeon milk. I know I've been a big advocate of pigeon milk. Pigeon milk exists, right? But pigeons don't. Pigeons don't exist. No bird exists. How do you milk a bird? I don't know. Pigeon milk, it's real, but it doesn't exist. Birds are not real. Go back to this previous slide. Now, I actually have some first-hand proof that birds aren't real. I have been in places where government has put quote-unquote dead birds in. I've seen probably hundreds of dead birds. This is real. I have. That's an unrelated reason. And I can tell you, I was not allowed to touch them. But I saw some of the broken camera. I saw some of them. They were well preserved for robots. Too well preserved for flesh, though. That's how you know that birds aren't real. Or that's how I know. That's how I fully believed in this idea, this concept. And with how much the government is spying on us, they're spying on you, they're spying on me, they're spying on this stream itself. It is easy to say that there is certainty in the fact that birds aren't real. And I think we can all agree on that. I think that makes sense. This is one of the more common shared beliefs, that birds aren't real. And for good reason. They just aren't. There's no real evidence that there are these flying aviary creatures with hollow bones. They can produce milk. They have feathers. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Right. So that's my talk on birds. Hopefully you understand. If you don't, I don't want to say you're wrong. You are wrong. I'm sorry, I just didn't want to say it though. Now we'll move on to the next thing. Something a bit more diving deep. Velcro. Now, I don't believe in Velcro. I don't believe in Velcro. I don't understand how these two things stick together. I don't believe in it. I had Velcro shoes as a kid. I don't believe in Velcro. There are things with Velcro in my room. I just don't believe in Velcro. I don't believe that this top thing up here can stick to this bottom thing down here. I just don't believe that. There is nothing reasonable about believing that. These two things don't stick. They're not sticky. They are not sticky. There is no source of friction when I'm rubbing them like along my hand. There is no source of friction. Nothing should keep these two things together, and yet they stay together. So I don't believe in it. I just don't believe in Velcro. I think when I look away, someone just changes it for something. I just don't believe in Velcro. This is actually a zoomed in image of Velcro. This doesn't exist. This isn't real. I don't believe in this. I just don't believe this exists. I think this is just made up. I don't believe Velcro exists. I truly believe someone just quickly switches out the Velcro for something that sticks together. And then when I'm peeling it apart, they quickly replace it. I just don't believe Velcro has any reason to stick. I just don't know. I think maybe there's some sort of secret switch on it. Maybe there's something else. I don't know. I just don't believe in Velcro. My theory is that someone just replaces it as we put it together and pull it apart. And they use that sound, that ripping sound, as a distraction to make us hallucinate that it does, not that it does stick, but that it hasn't been switched out. To make it sort of like a seamless switch. That's what the tearing Velcro sound of, that eerie, grating sound that no one likes about separating Velcro. That's put there artificially to make sure that no one notices that it's switched out. Who do I think switches it out? Probably the government. Maybe someone else. I don't know. Maybe this is just a huge practical joke played on solely me. I wouldn't put that past it. But someone, somewhere, for some reason, switches out Velcro. And I just can't believe in it. There is no logic, none at all, that can explain this to me. You want to pretend that these tiny hooks on the left are there and they hook with this bunch of string randomly on the right and it somehow manages to stick? You want me to pretend that A, this image is real, and B, that thing happens, and C, it can happen or not happen at any given time? Do I look like a fool? Do I look crazy? I'm not crazy. I'm Stone. Stone Talk. Stone Talk PhD. Dr. Stone Talk PhD. Honorary Dr. Stone Talk PhD. And Velcro isn't real. Right. I think I talked enough about Velcro. I think we can move on to something else that isn't real. The popcorn button on a microwave. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that it doesn't work. I'm sure if you have tried it, I'm sure you've noticed it just doesn't work. It turns on the microwave, but it never pops. It never pops. This button never pops it enough. And on the bag, it never says use the popcorn button. It always says use the whatever preset time. Maybe, what is it, a minute, 2 minutes? Something around there. 2 minutes, I'd say. It's always defaults to that. It never once has an indication to use the popcorn button. And every microwave has a popcorn button. So the reason is, why does this exist? It's obviously not there to pop popcorn. So what is the purpose? What is the purpose of this button? Well, after countless hours of research, I found nothing. I read microwave manual after microwave manual. I've infiltrated chat logs as a microwave. Here's my microwave impression. Beep, 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 beep. So I know what I'm talking about. I have seen the logs. I've seen everything. There is no information about this on the manual. So that can only mean one thing. It's a social experiment to see how many people are stupid. Here is the manual I've read, one of the many. No instance of the popcorn button was shown on this. But this is a social experiment. Through the microwave, I think you might be able to see it on this image. There is a tiny camera in this digital, this display here. There is a tiny camera. If you have a flashlight, you will be able to shine it on your microwave, and you might see a tiny camera there. Secretly, there is an array of researchers watching all of us through that camera whenever that popcorn button is pressed. Solely the popcorn button. When that popcorn button is pressed, they will set off the microwave for a random amount of time. And it will conclude. Maybe your popcorn will be burnt. Maybe your popcorn won't have popped at all. Or maybe it's just a little bit of pop, but more than half the kernels aren't popped. It's a randomness. But it allows them to look at us and see us. And it's a test, a counter, if you will, of how many people actually have faith in that. Blind faith in a deity almost. Deity being the popcorn button, praying that it will get right maybe this time. But it never does. The popcorn button is a cruel mistress. A fearful a goddess to be in awe of that popcorn button. And you are its poor sucker. The one who had faith in it is the one getting burned. Burned popcorn, that is. Because that thing never works properly. You should always just follow the label, instead of becoming someone else's guinea pig. And they use the results on the research to see who is truly a fool. And they target things at that. And they profit. Maybe it's an ad for... what's something stupid people like? The Stone Talk YouTube channel? No, only really smart people like that. I mean, only really smart people can hit that subscribe button below. Maybe you have to have an IQ of 140 or above to like the video, and to comment on it. By Jove, you must have maybe a top 5 IQ of all time to comment on the Stone Talk YouTube channel, which you should do now if you are really smart. I understand, I'm not that smart, I can't comment that often, but maybe you are. So subscribe if you're very smart. And if you aren't that smart, if you use the popcorn button, I understand. But yes, it is a social experiment designed to weed out dumber people and try to take advantage of them. People who have blind faith in the popcorn button. Because it will never work. It will never work. But some people trust it. And they keep trusting it. And they keep getting burned. And I believe we must stand for those people. Our brothers, our sisters, our other siblings. We must stand for them. We must stand with them. Because we are all, at the end of the day, persons of this earth. Whether we are fleshy or stone, we are people of this earth. And we must care for one another. Do not believe the popcorn button's lies. Do not believe in Big Microwave. They're using you. They always are. That's why I don't use the microwave anymore. I'm more of an oven guy. Right. I think we move on to the next thing. Forks. Now, you can say certain things about this, but when I went to a hibachi place, I used chopsticks. Those things are good. Those things are just 2 sticks that can basically do any cooking need you want. Any cooking need you desire, chopsticks can do it. You want to pick up food? Great, use chopsticks. You want to put down food? Great, also use chopsticks. And they can fit in one hand. Obviously, they take some skill to use, but chopsticks, they work. So why does the fork exist? Surely it's not to indoctrinate us into not being able to have dexterity, not being able to control our little hands. No, that would be too simple. The fork exists to prepare children for gladiatorial combat a la ancient Roman style. Now, you might know this, but a fork looks like a trident. And you might know this, but a fork is pretty much a trident. And you might know this, tridents are weapons. That's right. This is a big indoctrination scheme to get people to be acquainted with trident combat. Tridents are some of the more easier weapon fields to learn and master, even more so than a sword. As you can see, this weak and feeble fighter over here is getting owned by this strong and handsome fisherman. And look at the size of that trident, that length, oh my, that is quite the impressive length. You wouldn't want to be pierced by that trident. You couldn't get close to this man with that trident just sticking out there. You're in danger. No matter what protection you use, you are in danger of getting penetrated by this trident. You are in danger. But being able to master the fork at an early age is indoctrinating children in the principles of the trident, the stabbing, of the controlling. And it's giving us an advantage for not World War III. This is not a world war. Well, it sort of is. We're going to be fighting the sea. We've only discovered, 5% of ocean life? There is something down there, and it is terrifying. We need to be prepared. We need to become strong fishermen with tridents. That is what big government believes. That someday we will go to war with these people. And our weapons, our conventional weapons, our guns, our cannons, our bigger guns, whatever projectile shooters we have, they aren't going to work. We're going to need something classic. Something with a history, with the fishery. And that something is the trident. We are preparing for war with the fish people. I pray it doesn't happen in my lifetime. I still got a good 1 billion or 2 years left. And I pray it doesn't happen in yours. But we need to prepare for this war. Such a sad day. I know. I wonder why. What might be the starting factor? I've seen giant squids, the lonely whales. What truly is that demon in the ocean? The king of it all, the king of Atlantis, or the queen? Who is picking a fight with us humans? What does the government fear? I don't know. I did my best fish impression. I did my best fish impression, but no luck. No one in big government was able to tell me who the leader of the fish people was. No one. There is something brewing in the ocean. And we need to be prepared for it. We need to become the fishermen the government needs us to be. But that's in the future. Right now, we can move on to the next slide. Fans. It's not that I don't believe in fans. I just don't believe they work. The laws of thermodynamics state that energy cannot be created or destroyed. Yet, when I turn a fan on, I feel a sort of coolness being blown at me. Furthermore, every action must have an equal and opposite reaction. I feel something blowing at me. However, there is no force opposite of that. The fan does not move back. There is no sort of suction behind the fan. So where is this coming from? Where is this illusion of coolness? I think it's simple. Spirals. Spirals are some of the most devious and hypnotizing things. They control this world. Things that spin have tremendous power in everything. We're on a spinning rock called Earth. The electrons on our body have spin. Even something as big as a black hole spins. Everything in this world spins. Spinning is this transcendental power, some inherent force that's greater than gravity itself. There is no rhyme or reason behind it. Things that spin, things that go in a spiral, they are hypnotizing, they are transcendent. They assert a sort of power. An example of this can be seen in the hit show Beyblade, where by playing with these spinning tops, our protagonist Jinka is able to summon a Pegasus that can soar into the galaxies and crash down onto Earth. Furthermore, people can summon dragons, summon black holes, simply from a spinning top. This spin has a tremendous power over our world. You see it in shows like Ninjago, a real-life documentary about ninjas in the big city. They have this thing, this jutsu, spin jutsu. It is the strongest form of mixed martial arts out there. It is the strongest mixed martial arts there is. And yet we only see it to fiction. We only see it in that fiction. We only see it in Ninjago. And the reason is, spinjitzu, the art of spinning in combat, is too dangerous for us mortals. It's too dangerous. The power of spinning, it is too dangerous for the normal mind to do. You know, if you spin in a circle like really, really fast, you start to feel lightheaded. That is the power of spinning. It's surging into you so much that it makes you dizzy. It makes you faint, and it might even make you pass out. That is how dangerous, how powerful spinning is. The art of spin is just a force that is greater than gravity itself. It's the greatest force to ever exist. And the way a spinning fan works, it's not that it's pushing air to you, because then we'd see some sort of equal and opposite reaction. It's not that it's sucking air from behind and pushing it. No. It is creating air and using it with the spin. The recoil isn't pushing it back. The recoil is just, it's spinning. It's power. It is creating matter and destroying it. It is just a machine that can summon things. It is just a machine that harnesses the power of spin. It uses this transcendental force to just create a cool beam of air. And that's why fans work. The power of spin, the power of spirals. Spirals that Junji Ito tried to warn us about. Spirals that hypnotize us humans. Spirals that power the motors everywhere. They are just too powerful for mankind. If you are considering using the power of the spiral, please don't. Not just for my sake, for the world's sake, but for your sake. Please do not succumb to its power. The spiral is a dangerous thing. Right! That is wonderful. So let's move on to our next thing. Electricity. Now, electricity is a very complicated thing. It's something that's in everyone's homes, in our phones, in our digital devices. And there's two kinds of electricity, AC power and DC power. AC power, alternating current, basically jostles back and forth to power something. It's something that you'd plug into the wall. Basically, it has electrons moving back and forth to turn something on, to power it. That's a theory. And then you have direct current, where current just follows a big old line. A big old line, and it's powering that, and that's good, that's whatever. But, and hear me out, have you ever just considered the fact that that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever? I'm sorry, electrons, we move them through something because we have some power over them? No. What? Who believes that? That is stupid. What do you... How? That... There's a force that we can't see? And we just have to believe it exists because trust me, bro? Really? You expect anyone to believe that? No. The answer is just way more simple. Gremlins. There is a bunch of tiny gremlins in the wires. The wires are secretly tunnels for these tiny gremlins just to go through and power stuff. They carry little boxes, they do little tasks. They're sort of like a factory, except they're very tiny. Very, very tiny. For instance, AC current, as they call it. It's better known for alternating conga. The gremlins get in a conga line, and they go back and forth with the groove of the beat. The beat is this like sort of frequency that the song's at, and the gremlins are really tiny, so they can listen to really fast songs. In fact, in America, the standard frequency in basically everywhere, is roughly 60 hertz. What is that? 60 per second. Like every second, there will be 60 beats of the song that the gremlins do the little dance to. It's sort of like a sidestep for alternating current. And that's what happens when you plug in something in the wall. You have your, 60 hertz of gremlins. You have your 60 hertz of not 60 hertz of gremlins, 60 hertz of beats of songs. And the gremlins are just grooving, going back and forth with that. And their movement causes things to have power. This movement, this groovement, this flow flentum allows things to activate. For instance, my fan is on, and it's harnessing the power of the spiral, but the gremlins in the wires of that fan are just dancing back and forth to the groove of this alternating current. You know, if you listen really quietly, maybe outside you might hear transformers. They have this little bit of a hum. That's actually the frequency of the beats that the gremlins are listening to. And they're just doing this alternating conga line. They're like, oons, 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 oons. And they're just dancing and griving and grooving. And it's just wonderful. These silly little guys are just going back and forth. And they're just having a grand old time dancing to the beat. And that's what happens when we plug something in. We have 60 hertz of gremlin at, 120 volt? No, is it 60 volt? No, it's 120 volts, I believe. It might be 60 volts. 120 volts commercially. And then you have some things that are more volts. Like 240 volts. Granted, volts are a bit different. Volts in terms are sort of gremlin difference. A volt is always going to be relevant for something else. And I forget, was it John Volt that discovered this? Or Henry Volt? I forget who. But he discovered that when comparing one place to another, comparing two places, there is a different amount of gremlins in each. Some places have a higher gremlin potential, and some places has a lower. Like some places have more gremlin when you measure them per whatever unit. So, some gremlin charge, if you will, if you want to use traditional electric terms. And this difference is called voltage. Voltage is always relative to something else. Usually it's ground, where there's presumably 0 gremlins. And we'll measure from that, typically. So for instance, the outlets, you have about, 120 gremlins relative to ground, relative to no gremlins. And that's what a volt is. And the more gremlins you have, the more potential you have for the gremlins to move to the other side, and the more power you will have. And that goes to current. Current. People want to say it's the rush of electrons. No, it's the rush of gremlins. The current is basically how many gremlins you have just trying to get through this tiny path of wire. How many tiny gremlins are just rushing with so much energy trying to get through. It's a measure of how many gremlins are active. How many gremlins are dancing. A higher current means more gremlins are dancing. A lower current means less gremlins are dancing on through. And then we have resistance. Resistance is how hard it is for the gremlins to dance. Like, for instance, let's say this little guy up here on the top left. Let's say you soaked him in milk and threw him against the wall. It would be harder for him to dance, right? Yes. So even though he might have a higher voltage, there's more gremlins, if they're all soaked in milk and thrown against the wall, they're not going to dance as hard. And there's certain things that can impact that. Maybe the gremlins are hurt. Maybe the gremlins just don't like the path they're given. Like maybe they wanted something more red carpet bourgeoisie, and you gave them more of a welcome home mat with a cheesy sign that this family is imperfect, but we love it anyway. Like, live, laugh, love. Yes. Instead of this mega mansion that these gremlins are going to, they're going to maybe a sort of starter home with live, laugh, love on it. And, you know, gremlins, they want to party hard. They want to go crazy with it. And sometimes, that's just not it, Chief. They'll just be less enthused, less jazz. Or maybe instead of going on this red carpet, they're going through like syrup almost. It's a little bit viscous, and it's harder for them to swim through. And Those are the three major things of electricity: current, voltage, and a bit of amperage, a bit of current. No, current, voltage, and resistance, I'm sorry. Obviously, you have other things. For instance, resistance, the inverse of that is called Siemens. And it's basically the opposite of resistance. It's quite literally 1 over resistance. And it's just the opposite. It's how easy or how motivated the gremlins are to go. Like, again, maybe you rolled out the red carpet. Maybe you put a little carrot on a stick over their head and they're leading them forward. And they're just more jazzed, more enthused, and more ready to rip on through. And that's great. That is great. And then there's charge. Charge is just basically gremlins into space. It's sort of like voltage. Voltage is more used because it's a more useful quantity, considering voltage is equal to current times resistance. V equals IR. The reason why it's V equals IR instead of like gremlins equal groove plus or times vibe or inverse of vibes or whatever. It's because it's like French or something. I don't know. Some people just created it and it's like French, so they use like the French letters. I don't know. I don't really care. It just sort of happens. But yes, charge is the amount of gremlins in a certain space. It's very hard to quantify because there are so many gremlins in a space, so it's just usually easier to just do gremlins in a space relative to another, and we'll call that voltage, and it'll be a different number, but it's just easier for calculation. And, oh, of course, I forgot, direct current, direct conga, DC. Basically, instead of alternate current, where the gremlins are moving back and forth to the sound of the music, these gremlins are just sort of, how do I say this? They're just sort of going in a straight line. Like da 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 da. This straight line's a loop going from the positive end of, let's say, a battery to the negative end. And this will be in batteries and such. And just a conga line of gremlins. There is no frequency in this because it's just going with the flow. Nothing really to be frequent about. There's no alternating dance steps. It's just a conga line. And they're just grooving all together. They don't need the beat of the music. They got the beat of their hearts. And it's just the most wonderful thing, isn't it? Gremlin music. Not music. Gremlin gribes. Let's see. Anything else to discuss about gremlins? Oh, yes. I almost forgot. Complex resistance. This is more common on, let's say, a sort of alternating conga line. An AC current, AC power, I'll say. Oh, and power too. Let me start with power. Power is just how much work the gremlins can do, essentially. Usually measured in watts, because what's up? Hey, these gremlins are really cool dudes. I wish they were bigger, because they would be chill to hang out with. But yeah, they're just silly with it. They're just chill like that. What's up? Oh, so true, so funny. But yes, it is basically the potential of gremlins. It's V times I. The potential of gremlins, the voltage, times the current. Or the amount of gremlins going through. Right. What else did I have to say? Sorry, my mouth is dry. I need to drink some water. But these gremlins are really cool. I just have to say they are really cool. Oh, right. Complex resistances. Sometimes you'll have something called an inductor. Some nerd came up with that name. I don't know why. It's just a motor. It's just something that spins. It uses the power of spin. It distorts stuff. You know, typical spin stuff. But we like spinny things. Some people want to harness the spinny things. So they dabble in this black magic. But when the gremlins are going through that, it can warp the frequency. Because the spin of motor depends on the frequency of the gremlins. So if the gremlins aren't, it'll throw the gremlins out of whack sometimes. It sort of just slows them down. Does it slow them down or does it speed them up? I forget. It just throws them out of whack. It's sort of like a... Well, let me just do it in my head. And then, well, yes. Sort of like that. An inductive load. Well, let me look at this. Inductive load, is it leading or lagging? I believe it's leading. Inductive load. Leading or lagging? Let's see. What does Google say? Current lags behind the voltage. Okay, yeah, it slows them down. It basically slows them down. And that's a big problem. That is a big problem if the gremlins are slowed down. If they're all out of whack and they're heading to the system out of whack, big boom might happen. Really big boom. Because the gremlins on the source are grooving at maybe 60 hertz, whatever. And the gremlins at the end are grooving at it. Does it change the frequency? I forget. No, it does change the frequency, right? Wrong? No, it throws the frequency. It just throws them out of whack. It just throws the dance out of whack. And it's alternating current, so it gets messy. I'll say. It gets messy, this gremlin dance with inductive load. So people use capacitors. Capacitors are a component that basically stores and releases charge. It's sort of like a battery. It's not really a battery, but I just kind of view it as a battery. Basically stores and releases gremlins pretty quickly. It builds up this charge, and there's a voltage of blah, 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 and it does the opposite. So in a system, in a closed system, you might want to have a capacitor to offload that load. To offload the inductive load. There's is it a capacitive load, or is it a, I forget what exactly it's called, but yes, you want a capacitor just to have the gremlins lead, I guess. And at power plants, you'll see these giant capacitors. These giant places for gremlins to correct the dancing frequency. Because, again, if the frequency is out of whack, if something's out of whack, if the gremlins aren't dancing to the same tune, if they're leading or lagging behind, well, sorry, they will always be at the same frequency, but if they're leading or lagging behind, like some gremlins are doing the cha-cha slide, while some gremlins are doing, Cotton Eye Joe, that's really bad. That is just really bad. So they need to correct for it. They just need to correct for it. And capacitors and inductors, they balance each other out. And the difference is called a sort of power factor. There's some sort of complex thing about it. And it's basically how much real power are these gremlins doing. And we always want power factor to be closer to 1. We always want it to be closer to 1. Because when it's closer to 1, that means the gremlins are operating at full power. When it's less than 1, there is, what is it called? Reactive power. This imaginary power that essentially gets wasted. Basically, these gremlins are doing a ton of work. They're doing the cha-cha slide when you're supposed to be doing Cotton Eye Joe. And it's a lot of work, essentially. But it doesn't do anything. Except ruin everything. It just kind of ruins everything. So we want to keep that power factor, I believe, what's the standard? The standard above 0.85, 0.9, 0.95, something like that. We want to keep it as high as possible. 1 might be impossible, we don't know. We want the gremlins to be dancing to the same tune, same time, same whatever. So to do that, we just need them to, how do I say this? Get along, get corrected. Correct the bratty gremlin. Right, and is that everything there is to mention about gremlin power? I think that is. That was a nice little lesson. I hope you learned a lot from that. Gremlins are pretty powerful, and they're really chill. They are really chill. And again, if you're outside, maybe you'll hear the transformer humming. That's actually the song the gremlins are dancing to again. And it's quite the beautiful song, actually, I'll go a little bit more on DC current. DC current is what you'll find in batteries and such. AC current, as I mentioned before, is more on power grids, more industrial sites, more in the house. You plug it in. DC current is a direct Congo, and it's in batteries and such. Batteries can really only be DC current, and you can transition to that power through a rectifier, or the other thing, which I forgot the name of, which can basically alternator. Is it alternator? I forget. Which can basically change alternating conga to direct conga. Basically, it just tricks the gremlins to going either, if it's AC alternating conga, it tricks those gremlins to going into a straight line to maybe charge your phone, like the box of your phone, the box that you plug into the wall, that actually changes the alternating current, the alternating conga to direct current, direct conga to charge your phone. Though if it's something along the lines of a, the other way around, so maybe like you have an electric car, Your battery is in DC current, direct conga. The gremlins are dancing in a straight line, but the motors of your car need to be specifically tuned to a specific frequency for the gremlins to dance at. It needs to dance at alternating frequency because that's how motors work. They're an inductive load. And so what the conga will do is that it will just basically send that direct conga gremlins to just alternate, to go back and forth like ba 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 a ba 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 a, and it just goes back and forth. It tricks them to go back and forth. Right? Lovely, lovely, lovely. That is the sort of difference between direct conga and alternating conga. And I think that's everything for Gremlin Power. They're really chill guys. They're just chill. And they just do everything for us. Again, it's not magic. It's gremlins. Electricity isn't magic. It's gremlins. I don't believe in magic. Magic doesn't exist. I really just don't believe in it. Everything can be explained with science and logic and reasoning. Like gremlins. Now, what's next? Phones. So, the thing with phones is that they supposedly use radio waves to communicate with each other, and they've advanced so far over the years now that they don't even have to be landline anymore. They don't need a correction or anything because there's satellites in the sky that they can send a signal to and then signal back, and there's cellular power. And I don't know. I don't know what this is. What is it? I don't know. Radio waves? That doesn't make sense. I don't understand. This isn't a radio, it's a phone. What is going on? I really don't know, and it scares me. I lie awake every night, and I wonder how this actually works. I don't know what's going on in there. I can understand the camera, I can understand the battery, I can understand all of that, but communicating outside with nothing. I can put my phone all around everything, I can wave it around, I can put it through walls, but it works. I don't know why. I don't know how. It has GPS, it has location. What does that mean? There's a satellite I don't know. How does it communicate? What is going on? I lie awake every night pondering what could possibly happen. Why this works, I don't know. They scare me. They... What? Stop. I don't know. Alright, cookies! That's... Yay! Yay, cookies! We don't talk about what happened on slides 14 and 15. We don't talk about that. Cookies! Yay! We love cookies! I love cookies! Yay! Cookies are great. Cookies are wonderful. As you know, as I mentioned all this stream, I baked cookies. I baked a lot of cookies. I baked a brick of cookie dough. And it was delicious. It still is delicious. I have some downstairs. You know what? Give me like 5 seconds. I have a cookie now. Yay! It's delicious. Oh my, that's really good. That is really, really a good cookie. Oh my god, that's so good. It is sugar and flour and really nothing healthy, but it is amazing. This is great. Oh man. I can eat my fears away. Delicious. Oh yeah, that's great. Ah, that's great. Wish I had some milk with me. Ooh, I do have a plushie I can soak in milk and throw against the wall. And now I can suck the milk from that. I'm dying. I choked on water. I sipped water and I choked on it. But cookies, yay! We love cookies! I really love cookies. They're great. That was very violent. I'm sorry. The water is almost out of my esophagus. Almost out of my larynx. I don't remember human anatomy. I don't have human anatomy. I've never taken an anatomy class. But that's unrelated because we are talking about cookies. Now, I'm sure most of you have had cookies before. Chocolate chip are my favorite. Mine are better than this. At least better looking. But chocolate chip are my favorite. Or chocolate chunk too. They're basically the same thing. So we'll just consider them the same thing. But they're just amazing. I love cookies. Who doesn't love cookies? Maybe evil man McBadface. But, you know. Cookies! Yay! We love cookies! But what is... Yes, if I love cookies so much, why are they on here? Why are they on here? Well, I'll start off with a little story. Cookies' intended purpose. Actually, no, let's start with the story of the chocolate chip cookie. The birth of the chocolate chip cookie. My favorite invention of all time. A chocolate chip cookie was made by accident when someone requested a chocolate sugar cookie, I believe. And the cookie was rushed a bit. So instead of melting the chocolate in with the batter, they threw the chunks in and hoped it would melt in the oven. And it did melt in the oven, but not in the way they were thinking of. Instead of this chocolate sugar cookie, what came out was this cookie with chunks of chocolate in it. And this treat, this delectable delicacy, came around and just wowed everyone. It was quite the delicious snack. Yes, a happy little accident giving birth to my favorite thing. My favorite invention of all time. Shout out to my second favorite invention of all time, computer programming. The only reason it's my second favorite invention of all time is because it was invented before computers were. Yeah, that's a story for different. Oh wait, I will make a video on that. I might make a video on that. I think I will. But yay, cookies! We love cookies! So, what's the theory behind this? Well, it's not much of a theory. It's more so that this is a Pavlovian way to trick us. This is a psychology experiment to keep humans, mortal beings, in line. It's brainwashing. It's just simply brainwashing. I think that's pretty obvious to say, and it's pretty self-explanatory. For instance, when you reward some, like, here's a reward cookie jar. Cookies are seen as a sort of snack, a reward. It's quite literally giving a dog a treat. It is akin to that. Giving a cookie to someone is something Pavlovian to trigger a sort of good thing. You did a good thing. You are a good boy. You are a good girl. You're so good. It's a trick to prey on that. You did good thing. This is your reward. Keep doing good thing. Keep getting rewarded. It is inherently Pavlovian. Inherently. Like Pavlov ring the bell for his dogs. The idea of a cookie is enough to warrant these good thoughts of serotonin in our head and trick us into doing things. It is just manipulation. But it's so worth it! Because cookies! That's the next slide. We'll talk about that later. Cookies! Yay! We love cookies! I love cookies. It is easily to see that it's brainwashing. It's 100% easy to see that. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. Yeah, obviously, rewarding someone with a snack is going to make them do something more. Obviously, the X, Y, and Z. But, you know, Cookies! Yay! Cookies! Yay! We love cookies! We love cookies so much. Yay! Brainwashing! Oh man, that cookie was great, by the way. I ran down, I grabbed the cookie, I ran back up. Hope I wasn't gone too long. Hope the music kept you company. Hope my lifeless corpse kept you company, staring at your soul with these two googly eyes. But yay, cookies! Let's go! Cookies, cookies, cookies. Brainwashing and cookies. Yay! Cookies. Yes, they are very unhealthy as well. So I do not recommend eating a bunch like I have been eating a bunch of. But also, counterpoint, they're cookies. I want to feel good. They are just dog treats for humans. But it is so worth it. Look, they're filled with love. Well, actually, my cookies were filled with spite. But that's a different story. But yay, cookies. They will, again, Scooby-Doo, will you do it for a Scooby snack? Yeah, I would. I would. This is my Scooby snack. Scooby snacks are essentially cookies. In fact, they made cookies. They made Scooby snack themed cookies. I think they had cinnamon on them. They were delicious, by the way. They were delicious. I loved those Scooby snacks cookies. I loved them. They were delicious. But they made them literal cookies. It can't get more obvious than that. It's just Pavlovian in nature. It's a reward. Like, will you do it for a Scooby snack? Of course I will. It's just that good. It is just that good. It is 100% worth it. But yes, cookies are great. Cookies are brainwashing, but we don't care because they're delicious. Now, to the next thing. Fire. Now, I'm not a chemist, but some nerds will say that fire is the source of fuel plus oxygen plus energy. You'll have some sort of hydrocarbon burning, let's say a dry wood, and in the presence of heat and oxygen, it'll combust into flames. It'll cross that little potential energy barrier of igniting, and will release energy by becoming flames. The heat will provide enough energy to overcome that little, what's it called? That little potential energy needed for the, molecules to break down and seek out better partners that are more in tune with it energetically. It replaces the weaker bond, it breaks the weaker bonds, and they form stronger bonds and release heat as the form of energy. They release heat, they release energy, they go to a state of lower energy. That's what nerds will say, but fire is cool! Hell yeah! Sorry, I don't say hell yeah. I say heck yeah. I'm sorry, that was a slip of the tongue. Let me repeat that. Fire is cool! Heck yeah! It just exists because it's cool. I'm sorry, you nerds in chemistry. Fire is just cool. Look at this. It burns, it bakes, it grills. What's there not to love about fire? It's just cool. Look at these sunglasses. Only cool people wear sunglasses. It's the rule of cool. You don't need reason or logic for this. It happens because it's swag. It's just awesome. Have you ever just lit something on fire for the sake of that? That might make you, what is it? Pyrotechnic? Not a pyrotechnic. An arson lover. Don't burn down buildings. I understand. Fire is really cool, but please don't burn down buildings. Keep your fires controlled. I have a lighter. I'm going to light my candle tonight, when I read a little book after the stream. But fire is really cool. Fire, heck yeah. Fire, heck yeah. We love fire. We respect fire. It's just awesome. I know in Greek mythology, they eternally tortured someone for bringing fire to earth. But the gods of Greek mythology, no offense, kind of cringe. I'm sorry, you don't want humans to have fire? But fire is so cool, Zeus. You have big old lightning bolts, you can start fire, but oh no, when humans get two stick and rub them together, fire is cringe now? I'm sorry, I'm on Prometheus' side. Fire is cool. I like fire. I think fire is neat. Best invention of all time. Best invention for cooking, for industrialization, for not dying. Hashtag heat is awesome. That's not a hashtag. But heat is awesome because I like not freezing to death in winter. I really enjoy not freezing to death in winter. But it's just cool, and the rule of cool transcends logic. There's no reason behind it existing. It exists because it can. It exists because it's awesome, and that's why fire exists. There's no science behind it. There's no chemistry. Stars in space are big balls of fire. That's awesome. They bend space-time because they're so huge. That's awesome. There's no oxygen in space. Well, there is, but it's so trace amounts, blah, blah, blah. Chemistry stuff. We don't care about that. We care about the big burning balls. We care about the sun. We care about Beetlejuice. About Sirius. We care about those big, beautiful stars in the night sky. Polaris points north, and it points to fun. They are there, and light years away, they still shine bright. Because fire is cool. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry, fire is cool, but we have more to go. We have, I think, one more? Yeah, whatever. Merchandise! Let's go! I love participating in capitalism. Let us go! Merchandise. So what's the conspiracy behind merchandise? Look at these marketable plushies. Aren't they the best? I have one on my desk, and I love it. My Nimi Nightmare plushie. But they're amazing! Aren't they? They're amazing. So what could possibly be the conspiracy behind this? Corporate greed. I shouldn't have used the plushies as an example. There's better merchandise I could have used. Like, maybe, microtransactions. Does that count as merchandise? No, you don't even own it. But that's more blatant. Corporate greed! Let us not go. Something. Fruits of the boss makes a dollar, I make a dime. That's why I defecate on company time. That's that's a saying. They replaced defecate with a more crass word. But that is certainly a saying. But merchandise exists solely for, well, not solely for profit. Because there's like that 1% of time where it doesn't. I mean, are shows on television just marketing ploys to get kids to buy stuff? Yes. That was the entire plot of Toy Story 2. That was the entire plot of Toy Story 2, wasn't it? Well, actually, Toy Story 1 as well. Buzz coming to terms that he is one of a billion. He's not one in a trillion. He is one of a trillion. There's so many Lightyear toys. That is the entire story of Toy Story. Marketable goods. Consumerism at its finest. And then when they get bored of them, they throw them away to the side. That is like the subplot of all Toy Stories. I only watched Toy Story 3. I haven't watched Toy Story 4. But yeah, toys! Let's go! Because TV shows don't make money outside of selling toys and revenue. And TV shows really enjoy selling toys. Have you seen that, what is it? The Minecraft Steve. The Jack Black Minecraft Steve action figure. That was kind of poorly designed and entirely just sold as a money operation. And then you look at, this was a big one back in the day. My Little Pony merchandise. Hasbro made very poor products. I remember seeing like a stream of someone comparing it to like just those toys are homemade toys that they find on Etsy or something, and the quality difference is astounding. But Hasbro was just, or Mattel and whatnot, was just Mars making these toys. Oh, and they were just low quality, designed to sell. And then you have the entire Barbie line. Consumerism at its finest. You need Barbie, you need her dream house, you need her dream car, you need her camp, you need her space station, you need her submarine, you need her speedboat, you need her Ken. But you need 10 Kens and 20 Barbies. Because consumerism at its finest. Pandering to younger girls, and putting on unrealistic expectations of body image, blah blah blah. We don't care about that. We care about the money from corporate greed. Corporate greed. That is in retrospect, editor me did mention that he feels bad for putting these plushies on for corporate greed. He just thought they looked cute and put them on before he put the second slide. I would just like to note that. That's why I'm not transitioning back and forth between those two slides as much. But corporate greed, let's not go. That's cringe. It's just designed to take the money out of wallets. And when they're lower quality, it's cringe. Higher quality, now I can go to this. Higher quality merchandise. Higher quality merchandise. It's more artisan. You'll find it maybe on Etsy or maybe a very well-renowned producer. That has heart and soul into it. You can say it's a bit of part and passion. But we're not talking about just this high quality stuff. We're not talking about this artisan level quality. We're talking about... What's something that's very cheaply made? I don't know off the top of my head. Can't think of anything. Why am I freaking out? I can't... What show can I insult? Pokemon, for example. That makes a lot of money. That makes a lot of money. There is a lot of merch. There is a lot of culture around merch. The entire... Oh, wait. The entire Well, this isn't even... Okay, this isn't even corporate greed I'm talking about. This is just inhumane levels of greed. With scalpers and Pokemon cards. Those darn scalpers! That's not even corporate greed. Because Nintendo has the set prices for the box and blah, blah, blah. Scalpers will buy hundreds of them. They will spend tens of thousands of dollars on boxes and hoping to make maybe 1,000 or 2,000. It is disgusting. I don't like that. That is not corporate greed. That's just greed. That is just greed. That's not good. That's cringe. We don't like that. We don't like that. No, we don't. We don't like scalpers. No, we don't. But that's a different rant. We're not talking about scalpers. We're talking about corporate greed. And corporate greed, it persists everywhere. Everywhere just wants to drain our wallets of money. But there's not much money in those wallets, are there? So they make cheaper goods, less quality goods, but they're still goods. And it's just soul sucking and wallet sucking, and oh boy. Again, not all merchandise is bad. Maybe. But corporate greed is terrible, and corporate greed just sucks the soul out of everything. Everything's about dollars. It's not about quality. It's not about the passion. It's not for the children. It's not for the adults. It's for the bank accounts of the business. And we don't like that. Oh, yes, I remember when Hasbro tried to paywall D&D, I think. I think they bought the rights to some D&D stuff, and they tried to, paywall it, and the entire D&D community is built around... Not built around piracy, but there's a lot of piracy in getting the books online to free to play the game, because, getting people in that door opens up an entire avenue of merchandise to buy. And these are adults with disposable income. They will spend $1,000 on a dice set. Don't test them. They will do that. They will. Maybe not 1,000. Maybe definitely 100. They will spend that much money on a set of dice when they already have hundreds of dice at home. I have my dice set. Oh no, my dice! My dice set! I held it the wrong way open, and it just flew open. Oh no. Well, that sucks. I also rolled a nat 1. Granted, it was on the 20-sided dice, so it was on a 6-sided dice, but still, that's something saddening. And I'm going to need to find those dice. And I don't even remember how many I had. But corporate greed is cringe! That sucks! Yeah! Corporate greed. Behind a lot of merchandise is how much money corporations can suck for you. And I'm just going to toss the dice I have in my little dice holder. I got the dice holder for free, I will say. It's like one of those, when you try, when you, what'd I say? It's like one of those ads where, drug dealers will give, people drugs for free to get them hooked. It's like that ad, that, PSA ad, where drug dealers would do that. I was given this dice set to get hooked on tabletop gaming. It half worked. But I will say, I did not spend a lot of money on tabletop gaming. I won't say how much. Oh, there's a third dice. But I did not spend a lot of money on tabletop gaming. At least not yet. There's always the future to bleed my bank account dry. Always the future. But yeah, Hasbro, we don't like you that much. Mattel, you are kind of cringe. X Toy Company, I'm sorry, I like my toys. I really like my toys. I know it's corporate greed and whatnot, but I like my toys. I had a lot of toys as a kid. They were fun to play with. I have a lot of toys now. If you count like a 3DS as a toy, or my Nimmy Nightmare TM plush as a toy, or my little figurine. Okay, I don't have a lot of toys. I just have a lot of stuff, a lot of merchandise. And I love the merchandise. But it is designed to make money. And the more corporate you go, the more soul-sucking it is. Right, I think that will do it. Oh wait, there's one more slide? Huh. That's weird. I was told there'd only be 21 slides. I thought there was only like, what was that, like 10 things? Huh. I wonder. Alright, well, I think the next one will be end. I'm going to expose the truth on me. What? No. I'm cool. Right, guys? I'm cool. There's nothing to expose. I'm an honest, pretty huge deposit guy. I'm just a silly little limestone here. You know, there's nothing lying about me. There's nothing to expose. Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll clear up on the next slide. What's the? What? No. What? 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 Oh, no! No! Okay. No. You saw nothing. We saw nothing. That was just. We saw nothing, right? We saw nothing. We saw nothing. There was no 21st slide. There was no former slides. We saw nothing. There was nothing there. There were no further slides. All right? Okay? It ended on corporate greed and merchandise. Right? Right! Okay! What a wonderful, silly little stream, guys! I had a really good time. Really good time until the end. But it was a blast these past hour and almost 30 minutes. Oh man, I need a sip of water. Editor me. What a prankster, you know. Not that there was anything he pulled a prank on, but I'm gonna have a talk with him. And we are going to iron things out. What a silly goose. What a silly little goose. Right. Alright. Thank you all for watching. That was obviously satire. This entire stream was satire. Hope you all enjoyed it. I want to do more things like this. I like being a bit more creative with it. I like having a bit more fun. And I think I got a almost roleplay of it in here. Which I was... I shed tears. Wowee, I shed tears in this. I'm really surprised about that. I actually shed tears on the phone scene. I was not expecting that. I crashed out hard on that. I say it a lot. I'm built for suffering. That is something I say quite often. But that was actually just really just, oh my. I poured my heart out on that. I went a little crazy with it. Yeah, I apologize if this was a bit more strange than what's usually happening. I wanted to try something new, and I'm gonna be honest, I had a blast with it. I really did have a blast with it. And maybe I'll throw in some little stone lore here and there like I did with that. Maybe, just maybe. No promises. But yeah. I think it was also pretty informative. I think I provided a high level insight into electricity as a whole. Like, I didn't make up the stuff about gremlins. Gremlins are really cool. I can never make up stuff about them. But I think I explained how they worked. How electricity works. AC and DC current. By the way, probably should have went into more detail about AC and DC current. Because when I was a kid, I didn't know that AC current and DC current were different. And I think most people don't know the difference. But yeah, AC current is alternating current. It basically goes back and forth. Whereas DC current goes in a straight line. And, what is it? Nikola Tesla is the reason why we have AC current in our walls. We could have DC, but there's problems with that. I believe, I forget with what exactly. Is it the voltage? I forget what exactly is the issue with it, but... yeah, off the top of my head, I forget the issue, but... well, yeah, I forget the issue off the top of my head. I think it can't go as far as distances, maybe. Yeah, I think AC is better for distances. I forget why. It's been a while since I looked into it. Or I had to look into it, I should say. But I provided a pretty high level of insight to that, I think. And saying goblin... I know the usual thing is running water. That's the usual comparison. But I like the goblins. I like... sorry, the gremlins. Not the gremlins. The gremlins. I thought that was really funny. I thought I provided actually a higher level insight than I was going to. Man, that might have been my favorite slide. Or slides, I should say. I was a bit nervous with the beginning. I tried to pre-rehearse little jokes. For instance, like PhD, pretty huge deposits. That was something that came off the top of my head because of other more inappropriate jokes about PhDs. Pretty huge. Something else that starts with D. Maybe it's ducks. Maybe it's a diaphragm. I am a big guy. I have a big set of lungs. I have a big diaphragm. Not that stones had diaphragms. But if I were human, I would have a pretty big diaphragm. But yeah, deposits. Because I am a sedimentary stone. I like to be chill like that. It's part of the lore. Not sure if I'm ever going to explain the lore. But the lore is always there. I do have lore for this character. I did... you know what? I actually provided a lot of insight to the lore. I'm not going to elaborate on this. Someday, somewhere, someone might find it. Or maybe I'll elaborate on it in the future. But yeah, the beginning and the end of that slideshow, I think it provided some bits of lore. If you're into that, check it out. It does nothing except for self-gratification. It's nothing but self-gratification. But, you know, I love solving puzzles. I understand other people love solving puzzles. I do Sudoku instead of going to sleep at a reasonable hour. I'm crazy with it. But yeah, this was a really fun stream. I don't think I'll be able to do this for a while, though. Because I was very loud. I am going to get a complaint. I'm going to get a complaint from this level of high-octane roleplay. But, do I have anything else to mention? Am I going to do a stream tomorrow? I might do... I don't know why. I've been in a streaming mood, but I need to catch up on editing. I was editing on Friday... was it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. But I need to actually finish those edits and post them. Oh, yes. In this video, this stream, I was planning on making it into like maybe a shorter video, maybe like 20 minutes. Condensing the hour and a half into 20 minutes. That's going to be a pain, but we'll see. We'll see. And I can include the lore in it. Oh, my. Yeah, I think I'm going to make this into a medium form. Is it long form content? Yeah, long form content video. And I'm going to try to make other like clips and such into YouTube shorts. I'm going to try that. No promises, but I'm going to try that. I think that's the direction I want this channel to go to. Main channel, like full-length videos will be maybe highlights of stream or something. Whereas the shorts and stuff, the short little clips, will be for shorts. That's the direction I think I want to go to. Right, you know what? I always do roll a dice at the end of stream. But first of all, where's my dice? Oh, there it is. They're all over the floor now. So let's roll this D4 and see what we get. D4. Is that magic missile dice? I forget. I don't know. I cannot see. Let me turn on the light. Because it got dark. That is a 1? course, another one. We're rolling a lot of natural ones today. Oh, wait. Off is down there. Just got to turn off my lights. But yes, a natural one. We talked about a natural one last stream. So what else can we talk about that's one? Oh, wait. I talked about a lot of things. Oh, yeah, things ended. The end is beginning. 1 is 0, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you want to say about that. But I watched a show. A show that ended. Just ended. Or second season just ended. Hopefully there'll be more seasons. What is it? Go Go Loser Ranger. A fun little show. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the first season. I really enjoyed the second season. Well, I didn't enjoy the end of the first season so much. I didn't like that, what is it? The arc for, the selection arc, whatever it's called. The recruit arc. I didn't like that, but I didn't like that so much. I still liked it. But everything else has been golden about it. It's really nice. A nice traditional twist on Ranger, like Power Ranger or Sentai dynamics versus evil monsters from outer space. Nice little twist on that. And I love seeing the characters. How do I say this? The main character is kind of weak. I like seeing that. I do like it when the main character isn't like this overpowered, crazy person. I like it when they're just kind of a guy with their own ambitions. It's pretty cool. But yeah, the second season just ended. We actually had a bit of a time skip too, foreshadowing for the future. But it was a great arc. It put up a lot into the world. I think it did better on making the world a better place. It revealed the truth that there's more bosses on the Earth. Not all of them were eradicated, and there's this sort of secret war almost going on. Well, that might be a stretch. But it really gave life to the world, because without it, I think it would have been harder to do. I think it was missing something. And I think that was what was missing. The fact that there were lies told. The story acknowledges that there were lies told to the public, and we were fooled. We were the public. We were fooled. I like that. It was a fun little series, and I'm not doing it justice by yapping. But my throat is sore, and I want another cookie. Right. I'm going to end stream here. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this, please subscribe, maybe leave a little comment, a little like, or maybe tell me what to do for the next one in the comments. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It is appreciated. But thank you all for watching. And as always, have a day. I hope it's a good one. See ya.